So one is out, three remain, two deciding to get one champion and a couple of champions in the house with us here. Three actually, no complaints for me. Matthew Hayden, this is a ground that you've seen a lot of success on as well. From that perspective, what does it take when you're just 2 matches away from getting your hands on this trophy? What does it take to summon the spirit when you're 1 away from that final?
I think the most important thing, Mayanti, is to recognise where you are. We are in Chennai, and it's a house of pain for many of these sides over the years, in particular actually the two that are playing this evening. They've had no success here whatsoever. You have to immerse yourself in this environment. It's a black soil country. Used to be red soil, used to be really dusty red soil. You'd play a shot and bang, the dust had come up. But right now, it's a thinking man's game. It's a less than 200 total, put it that way. Even with the impact subs, it's not going to make that much difference. So you've got to immerse yourself in what you can do and also follow the rules about what you can't do. The side that embraces that concept best will, in my view, win this match.
Control the controllables. We always hear that, as cliched as it may be, Sunny G. Sunrisers Hyderabad are here virtue because the team that they might meet in the finals really dominated them. Rajasthan Royals just about managed to get themselves across the line. How do you shrug off a little bit of those nerves in that form?
Well, it's difficult because, when you come to the knockout stages, when you know that this is a make or break situation, your entire thinking changes. When you're playing in the league stage, you're always aware there's another game. So what if I don't do well? So therefore, that's the reason why, as Matthew said, we will probably not get to see 200 plus scores. Because batters, however natural inclination they might have, they will be just that tad little bit cautious, and that can maybe lead to a situation where the scores will be less than 200. So the team that keeps its cool and most importantly takes its catches, likely to get through to the finals.
I like how Sonny called me Matthew there.
I was about to
nice
start
touch,
and say
wasn't it?
that's
I mean,
nice.
When you see somebody who is about 40 years younger than you,
He actually is. He's carrying on like a Matthew at the moment.
I was
isn't
looking for my mother. Is she here?
Okay, Dos. Okay, Dos. Okay, Dos.
He's carrying on. You are a Matthew. Today actually your commentary stint last week. You were a Matthew.
Okay, Kevin.
Okay, Mum.
Okay, Kevin. Let's ask you the difficult question of the day, and you know what it's going to be.
Okay.
Who's beating Kolkata in that final? Who's winning?
I want Hyderabad to get through.
Okay.
I am desperate for them to get through just because of the way that they've changed the game of T20 cricket over the last couple of months. They set the stall out and they've not faltered and they've not gone away from that. And they've got to the finals and they've got to such a big game here. I hope they don't change the way that they can play. Matthew and Sunil have just been talking about the way that you should be playing here at the Chepak and the way that you probably shouldn't be playing. Can they bring that style of cricket to this stadium on this particular surface? I mean, just behind the camera, we can see the surface.
One more chapter in their history as they go for the final. Let's find out what's on the show. It's a time where big match players need to step up to the plate, and we just do that with Kevin Peterson and Sunil Gavaskar. Let's just have a look back, gentlemen, when it comes down to this tournament as well, as to what needs to get you through when it comes to big match players on the line. Because you have to wipe away whatever history has got you there. But how, KP, do you get over the travel fatigue, the nerves, when you're one shot away from the final, the rest of the history, kind of recalibrate yourselves?
Being fresh actually plays a big role.
Right. One of the teams playing today, Sunrisers, they've been the trendsetters. That's the kind of tournament we've seen. We've had some incredible moments, records being created, heroes making comebacks. And with these two teams in particular, you had those players who've earned their way back into the Indian team, like a Sanju uncapped heroes like Abhishek Sharma that have stepped up to the plate when it counts. And that makes us look at all the players that have performed that could form the incredible team of this incredible league. It's always fun to discuss what would be our incredible team. We will reveal the full team on Sunday for you. But let's talk about the top three because, I mean, openers extraordinaire in our studios. On Cricket Live Countdown. So these
Travis Head has been outstanding. Abhishek Sharma has been outstanding. But I would like to think that whoever today scores the runs today, maybe you'd pick him. But Kohli, yes. I mean, anybody who scores 700 plus runs, how can he not be in your final team?
Balance to the team because he's also a bowler, so he's probably exceptional just in determination. It's an obvious thing to go for. Doesn't matter a lot in this IPL. I think it makes some difference. But I feel Virat Kohli in the way that he's gone about his business is someone that's...
So these were your contenders for who would be the best, and the fans seem to think that they're as well. Well, one of them has a key role to play with the T20 World Cup just around the corner. Virat Kohli, though he won't be opening, even though that's been a discussion from India's perspective. But they warm up against the Bangla Tigers. And that's where we begin our campaign for getting that dream of a crown again.
Gearing up for warm-up.
A little bit of a headache. I don't think it's a headache, just a little concern for the team.
Where was the match played? Was it in New York?
In New
That
York.
first one, was it? Yeah, so, I mean, that to me, it's just about assessing the conditions. The thing about dropping wickets is they're very stable. So ultimately, you can probably assume that there's not going to be a lot of variation subject to weather. Being a new ground, I think it's also about experimenting.
The leadership, we've seen that. A little bit of cheekiness from Pat Cummins in leadership, but a coolness, stepping up to the plate, bowling those difficult overs. Now, this is a difficult one where his bowling unit has stood up, but his batting unit, which has been the greatest...
It hasn't got a lot of grass on it. It will bounce, and so... What that means for Pat is he'll bowl a lot of big cutters. He operates in that kind of short zone about 56% of the time. And he'll have one boundary as well that will be heavily protected. 78 metres, as I said before, so it's quite substantial, that boundary. Sweet moment because you understand and are compassionate also against your competitor.
And you need that competitor to come out today because this is your one shot to make it to the final to meet Kolkata Knight Riders. And in the final, we will be joined by Imagine Dragons who are out there to introduce us to their new singer. Ashwin, big match players is the temperament you need here on Amul Cricket Live when you are looking to slug it out for a place in the final with Matthew Hayden and Kevin Peterson, who know all about what it takes to pick it up and perform at the big stage. I mean, KP, you look at Sunrisers Hyderabad, this opener has been the best, opening pair has been the best we've seen in 17 years. They're both striking it over 13 in that power play. Scored 100 twice within those 6 overs, but Rajasthan Royals bowlers...
Yeah, maybe batters have got... they've probably got the authority to command most of the entertainment, but batters and or bowlers on some occasions definitely have the will over the batters. It's not been that case over the last 2 months, and we are batters, so we will like to think that batters are. But
he was just thinking of cash. That's what he was thinking. He was thinking, you know, bowlers, batters.
I was thinking about who can win and what this tournament has meant. And we are here at the Chepak, and the Chepak has got a history of low scoring, but it doesn't matter what the wickets the other night.
Yeah.
And what would be really interesting to see is that with their last meeting, if Ravichandran Ashwin bowls in that power play, because that is what kept this prolific opening combination quiet. The hometown hero returns, where he's got 50 wickets. Son of the soil, he was the player of the match in the Olympics. That have got Rajasthan that far. But your Sahi Hai game plan, would you look to utilize Ravichandran Ashwin again in the power play against this prolific left-handed opening duo?
Yes.
Because, of course, left-handed. He kept Travis Head quiet in the previous game.
Absolutely. And when you've got players of his caliber and you've got Trent Bolt at 2 overs, here this evening, Ravichandran Ashwin and Trent Bolt, to these 2 openers, absolutely they have to bowl.
And Ash is
But what he did notice, similar to what we were talking about before, is the fact that he can bowl down one end and he can 2 ahead. You can imagine with this big ground looking up over this side. Challenging tonight, no question.
You'll be geared up to go because this is home turf in a sense for Ravichandran Ashwin, isn't it? But he has to be wary because when it comes to spin, that's the best breakfast that Abhishek Sharma likes to consume along with Travis Head and Hendrik Klaasen. And when we got them out to the gullies, well, that was a lot of fun. Qatar Night Fighters here, just as Hayderson enjoy the little bit of a breeze that's blowing. I'd like to say in our hair, but we leave that in my hair.
In my one hair.
In the beard, it's okay, it works. Hendrik Klaasen has that little innings just given them enough of an impetus to.
You could argue that he was foxing what he said, but he's extremely happy with the conditions here and how their Rajasthan Royals bowling effort went about things. I just want to remind people of something that I said very early in the piece here as well, that these big games are about defensive efforts.